Hi everyone, back again. Hopefully I've got everything right this time. We'll soon see. See if anybody jumps on. Hi Alison. So we're obviously running on Facebook. Let's see if YouTube's kicked in. We are up and running on the Fairy Hugs page, which is good. Hi Caroline. And we're on my page, which is good. Just check that YouTube's running this time. I don't know what happened to it last time. Obviously I messed it up somehow. It's always a little bit behind. Yeah, that's running as well. Breakfast done. Hi Tracy. It's getting pretty warm here, so I'm going to have to put my fan on, but I'll only put it on low. So I've been running around a bit. See where we're at there. Oh, thanks Margaret. I have been doing it a long time, so Tanya's a very good demonstrator as well, but I've just been doing it a bit longer and I've done a lot more, so she'll catch up. She'll catch up. She does different things. Everybody brings something different to the table, which is really good. We'll just give it just a minute and then we'll start looking at some different samples, because I've loaded some different ones up. I've lost track of what I showed you and what I haven't, so we'll just see how we get on. So we're using this time. So the video that I did earlier is available on YouTube, but if you can't find it, I'll sort it out later and I'll reload it up and it'll be on my website as well when I get a chance. Yeah, it's very hot here as well, Angie. I'm very hot, but fortunately my craft room is on the back of the house, I suppose. It's at the front, but the sun is on the back of the house in the sort of midday and afternoon, so it's not too bad. So let's just have a look at what we did earlier. So earlier, let's move that one out of the way, we're going to be using that in a minute. Earlier, if you missed it, I showed you how to make this card. This was my first demo, and there was a black smudge in there which I managed to get rid of, and this one is the Magical Night and that one Moonlight Wishes, I think it's called. I'll get to it in a sec. Hang on. Wishes. I'm getting there. It's cool. Yeah, Moonlight Wishes. Get me. I remembered. So, but very, very simple to create. And we've got the fairy snowflakes in the background. Then I did a tag. with a section of the Cupcake Wishes with the party streamer stencil in the back and the birthday wish. And then I did a DL card with the little sending birthday wishes sentiment, 2 of the musical flutters from the music release, the wildflowers, the fantasy flowers at the bottom, the leafy scrolls at the top, and then I've used the Dragon for You and the Fairy Floral stencil on the back. So it's a proper card, it opens and everything. I like to show you that when I do a proper card. So that was in the earlier demo, so you can watch that back at your leisure. So let's just quickly run through what is in the collection. Shall I show you? Let's show you some samples first. Actually, we'll show you some different samples. I don't think I've shown you this one. This is Endless Knowledge. This one's by Art Angel, and she's pulled the image out, so it looks like you're looking into the image, and you've got the book flowers there in the background, and you've got some ginkgo leaves at the top, and she's also used Treasure Quiet in that, which is one of the new ones, which is in that square area there. This is Hydrangea Nightfall, I think it's that, or the other way around. And so this is based on Nico's Hydrangea from the Fairy Flowers, Flower Fairies rather. And she's added some bees in there. This is Bonnie's, and you've got a coordinating tag there with Hello Hydrangea. Another one with that stamp set, and this one's by Jess, and she's used the Hydrangea stamp in the corner as well. This is one of Jess's, and this is your Seaside Living with the Dragon for You, which is the one I used on the back of my card. And Maudie Bella is the flying fairy in the scene, and Jess has used the larger one on the outside, so it's like a flock of Maudie Bellas coming in. We've got the bulrushes at the bottom, which go really well. From Alison, this is the stamp we're going to use first of all, and Christmas card, and I'm going to make a Christmas card too. So it's perfect for a Christmas card. And Alison's actually used a paper from the Tumbleshine paper pad there, because some of the Tumbleshine papers work very well as the new Enchantment paper pad. This is from Bonnie, which is Tealicious. And again, a Christmas card. So it always depends on the way you colour it in, will, you know, give it a different look completely. So let's just go through the collection very quickly. This is your Cupcake Wishes. They're all the big stamps. The collection comprises of 20 4.5 inch in diameter scenes, and the scenes are existing images in the catalogue which have been resized, masked up, layered up, and a scene all ready for you to go straight away. It's one stamp, so you don't have to spend the money on 5 or 6 stamps if you don't want to, and you don't have to spend the time doing 5 or 6 stamps. They're all ready to go. And Aunt Angel's just saying there that for Christmas these scenes are perfect for popping inside clear baubles to hang on your tree, which I think is an excellent idea. Anyway, so that's Cupcake Wishes. Then this is Dancing Joy with a little fairy on the musical dandelions there. Then we've got Endless Knowledge, which is Alina sitting on top of a stack of books. Excuse me. Then we've got Hydrangea Nightfall. This is your Magical Journey. This is your Magical Night. Again, this one is perfect for Christmas. This is one of the ones I used in the previous demos because Aislinn has got snowflakes in her wings. Then you've got Seaside Living. This is one of my favourites, and it seems to be one of your favourites from the pre-orders I'm getting. This is Swinging Delight. Excuse me. This is Tealicious, which we just looked at on Bonnie's Christmas card. And then Woodland Family. So those are your 10 big scenes, the 4.25 inch in diameter scenes. I'll just grab a drink of water before I cough again. I'm still going to cough. Excuse me. Here is one of the smaller ones, and the smaller ones will coordinate with the bigger stamps. So these are 1.5 inches roughly in diameter. Oh dear, oh dear. This is Fairy Little Things, and this one will coordinate with Swinging Delight, because you can see the little mushrooms. Then you've got Hello Hydrangea, and this will coordinate with Hydrangea Nightfall. Then you've got Joy Wings, and this will coordinate with Dancing Joy, because they're both musical. Then we've got the Moonlight Wishes, and this will coordinate with the Magical Night. And then you've also got Much Joy, and this coordinates with your Woodland family. Hope you're writing these down. Then you've got Sending Birthday Wishes, and this coordinates beautifully with the Cupcake Wishes because of the little magical musical butterfly there. And I used that in that DL card this morning. Then we've got Time for Tea with the little rabbit or hare, and that coordinates obviously with our Tealicious, which is that one. Then we've got Treasure Quiet, and you can see from the books that that's going to coordinate beautifully with our Endless Knowledge. And we've got Dragon for You, which works, it can work on its own, all of them can work on their own, but we've paired it with this Seaside Living. Yes please Bonnie, it'd be great to share that list into the group as well. Then we've got Dragon Steps, which coordinates with the Magical Journey. Oh, I'm sorry about this. I'm really suffering here. I might have to suck a mint. Quietly, obviously. Because I can't keep coughing. It's going to drive me nuts. Okay, and then we've also got the Enchantment paper pad, and the Enchantment paper pad has, as you can see, lots of inky circles for you already done on that beautiful nice smooth paper that Fairy Hugs have, which is great for stamping your silhouette stamps onto, because you tend to not have to stamp as many times as you do on things like watercolour card or regular stamping card. As always, you've got 24 sheets, they're 6 by 6, and you've got 24 designs, 2 sheets of each, because obviously they're double-sided, so you can choose which side you want. And of course that's great, because if you make a mess on one side, you can just turn it over and use the other side. And they're 216 GSM. Anybody that has had the papers knows that they are excellent papers to stamp on. And you can see, as Karen's used there, they're a perfect match for those big scenes, and you can see here's a few more. So obviously you can just stamp them as is, or you can actually expand them out and make something really special. Just plain is really great to go. If you haven't seen this one, this is one of Tracy's. This is a different idea. This is using the same stamp that I used in the DL card I did, but using postage stamp die, and this is actually a Tutti Designs die. I recognise that one, with again the fantasy flowers just on 3 of the squares. Excuse me for eating my mint. This is from Bonnie and Cupcake Wishes, and of course Art Angel's gone, you know, dimensional as she always does, and has produced some fabulous pieces of work here. All of the samples are excellent from the design team. Do go and have a look on Facebook at the Fairy Hug store and you'll see the design team samples in there. They're still adding them because as we share them, when we tend to add them. Also, as well as my YouTube channel, which is Julia Watts Crafts, there is also a Fairy Hugs store YouTube channel as well. And Bonnie has actually done a video where you can see all of the stamps and the papers as well, so you can just find that straight off. No, the new collection is available on my website, juliawattscrafts.co.uk, for shipping to UK addresses, and it is exclusive to me in the UK. They are pre-orders. I don't have the stock yet. I anticipate I'll be able to send orders out from the Wednesday the 13th, so that's a week on Wednesday onwards, because they've got to come from the States. And if you pop code yours10 in the discount code box at checkout, and you'll see your checking out amount changed, then that's valid until midnight on Sunday the 10th of September. Because you're having to wait, then I'm giving you 10% discount. There's no date for the TV as yet, if at all, so please don't think, oh, I'll wait until it's on Create and Craft, because it might not be. Okay, and you can also get them, if you're outside the UK, you can get them from fairyhugs.com for worldwide shipping. And Fairy Hugs have already got a discount on each individual product, so you'll see what price you're paying. Okay, so let's crack on with the demo, shall we? So we're going to use the enchantment paper pad, and I've chosen I like to move everything around because I'm charging my phone as well at the same time, because I forgot to do it. Where are we? We're using a paper. We're going to use blue tones again. I do like the blue tones because we're going for a Christmas card. And I've got a circle mask cut out here, and this is where I've made a frame. Incidentally, there's 4 videos coming this week on my YouTube channel. There'll be one tomorrow morning, and Wednesday, Thursday and Friday morning. So there's 4 more videos coming onto my YouTube channel with a card each day, just so you know. So do subscribe, it'd be lovely if you're not already. So this is from a waste from a frame I made for one of those videos, and it's just the debossed double stitched circles from Sentimentally Yours. But this is the perfect size for me to pop over my circle. I know I can't see, but I can guess roughly where it needs to be. So I can mask it. You don't have to mask it if you don't want it. Depends what stencil you're using. This is the Swirling Snow from Fairy Hugs. So I'll just get a little bit around the outside. This wouldn't be horrendous if I got some on the inside, actually. Can we do that? Should we have it on the inside as well? Let's do that. We can do that. Just for a point of difference to what we normally do. So if you want to keep it as is, then mask it off. If you want to add a little bit of colour to the centre, then leave it as is. Swirling Snow is open in the centre, so I'm quite comfortable with it doing this. Yeah, Hugs 10. Did I not say Hugs 10? It's this one. That one. Did I put the other one up? I don't know what I'm doing today, Christine, to be honest. Oh dear, that's the code. Ignore the other one if I put another one up. I'm on another planet. I have no idea what's coming out of my mouth, to be honest. Why am I doing this? Oh, I don't know. We've been to Asda in the break as well because we've got no food in the house. Oh dear. If you're waiting for orders from me, I'll get to them tomorrow. I'm really sorry. As I said, the pre-orders for the new collection won't go out until at least next Wednesday. I'm not expecting it on Tuesday because UPS haven't been very quick recently, so next Wednesday. It's not that long to wait in the scheme of things. I think when they're on the TV, you have to wait about 10 to 14 days anyway, so it's not a massive thing. Now that's moved. Let's try and get that back in the right place. The benefit of a stencil, you can realign it. Blame the heat. I can't, it's just my brain. My brain doesn't work at the moment. Nathan despairs at me. In case you don't know, Nathan's my son, not my husband, because I don't have one, but yeah, he absolutely despairs at me. Says I'm brain dead, and he's probably right. Oh dear. Let's just ink around the edges as well, because we can. And it kind of finishes it all off. So I'm using Broken China Distress ink rather than Distress Oxide, just because I want the kind of what's it? Translucency of the ink. I think that's the word. I don't know why I'm even trying to say words that I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to use a dye ink rather than an oxide. It's a little bit more subtle, especially with the brushes. Okay, so there's our start. I've also got a debossed double stitched rectangle, so I might as well ink around that at the same time while my mat's inky. I've got another mat out because that mat was driving me nuts this morning. Just a little bit of ink just to take off the starkness. And give that a spritz. Tidy up. And then we'll start stamping. Stencil was swirling snow. So do I need to do anything else? No, I'm good. Right. Stamping platform, I will put it. There it is. I've had lunch. Yes, I've had lunch. I've had a very unhealthy lunch because I hadn't got time to make lunch. And I've got no salad in the house. I've got nothing in the house really. We didn't have time to do a proper shop at Asda. We only got something for dinner. And as you know, Angie, there's a McDonald's right next to Asda, so we went to McDonald's. Right, pop these in. It's looking good already, isn't it? Just like that. Fabulous. Right, let's get our Woodland Family, which is our deer. Now, if you wanted to pull this design out and make it bigger, let's just get the acetate off. So you can see exactly how it's going to look. So you can see with the acetate, doesn't it look fabulous? So the design, the meadow grass is trimmed to fit in a circle, and you just get a little bit of the design outside the circle, which is nice because it's rather than a hard stop, it's more of a flow. And this is called Pine Cluster. So if you have this stamp, you can then pull it out further if you want to. You could add an extra deer in if you wanted to. You could do all sorts of things. And this is one of the Spooky Moons, but she's been resized. Makeup button. We've got pizza for dinner. Because yesterday after my workshop, I said, because we went into Asda. We're going to Asda quite a lot because it's so close to us, really. And so we went into Asda on Friday to get cakes and stuff for the workshop yesterday. And was it Friday? No, Saturday, sorry. And there was some pizzas there, which they are quite nice. They're pizzas that they do at the pizza counter. And we didn't pick one up because I'd got something for dinner last night, and I wished I had. Not on last night, Saturday night. I wished I had, because they're just so quick and easy. So we're grateful. Right, okay. I think we're good with that magnet. It's only just on it, and it's only the trim bit. So let's do this. We'll do this in pine cone, I think, because I quite like brown and blue together. I think they work really well. If you want to go lighter brown, you can go for acorn, but do go for VersaFine Clay. Now we're going to do that thing where we, with this one especially, because I have already had a dirty mark, and on the card that I shared today, let me find it, that one, can you see where the little sort of flutter dust, little butterflies and dust are between those two deer in the middle? That was a mucky mark because I had an air bubble and it lifted the stamp up, so it was a mucky mark where it shouldn't be, so I put that there. So don't underestimate little stamps. Little stamps are very, very useful. This stencil, yes, I do have this stencil in stock. Swirling Snow, Angie, yeah. You're making a new list. Hi, June. June's on holiday again. See, I've ratted you out, June. June's always on holiday. She sends me a message, you know, saying I'm on holiday. I don't know why she does. You should actually, it'd be more amazing if you emailed me and told me that you weren't on holiday. I just expect you to be on holiday. Lots and lots of inking. Well, why not? Why not? Life's too short to not enjoy it, isn't it? If you've got the opportunity to go, go. Absolutely. Right, let's make sure we're right up. I'm paranoid about this. Oh, let's put some of this on. I've had so many bad stamping days that it happens to everybody. But I just don't like it when it happens to me. Now I know one or two of my pine clusters I have to give a little bit more attention to. These are big stamps. Don't expect to be able to stamp them perfectly straight off. I would suggest that if you haven't got your stamping platform, that you get one if you're going to have these stamps. You can actually, there is the potential to actually snip into some of them and make them into separate stamps if you want to, if you didn't want to mask off. But obviously if you don't cut them and then trim them even more. If you cut them more higgledy-piggledy so they fit back together like a puzzle, then you'll be able to use them as their whole again. Just like Tanya's shown on a show before with Sentiment, she's cut them a bit higgledy-piggledy into separate pieces so she can match them up to put them back together again. Does that make sense? Yeah, but Angie, Bonnie's put the link there for the Swirling Snow. You can add it to your wish list because there is a wish list on my website. Let's see how we go here. See what this is looking like. I have used this stamp quite a bit. Those are my pressure points. See if we can get some ink from those. There's definitely ink on the stamp. Okay, let's re-ink. Don't panic. I will panic if it's moved. I won't swear though. I'll be very good. I need to press there. I need to press there. You don't put your order in yet though, Angie, because there might be something else in a minute that you want, which I'll talk to you about in a minute. How are we doing now? It's better. Let's just give it a little bit more. It's the back of that deer. It's a little bit on the moon. And it's a cluster here. And the top top of that cluster there. Oh, and his leg. Let's just do all of it. Yeah. It's a big stamp. There's a lot of detail in it. If you were stamping this separately, you'd have to probably, you'd be masking off and you'd be stamping the deer, and you'd have to stamp the pine cones 3 times, and obviously you'd have to stamp the moon, and you'd probably have to stamp the meadow grass 2 or 3 times. So, you know, it's no hardship going in a few times like this. I did look for, because I actually do prefer the Stamp Perfect Hampton Arts stamping platform, but it's too big. It keeps clonking on my camera when I use it for a live. So I like the big one, the 10-inch one. And I did look on a very well-known online store, but they've only got the 7x9, which is a bit too small. It is my favourite one. Right, I can see the ink on the stamp there. So you are going to come out, and you are going to come out as well. That's better. And his back leg. That's better as well. Okay, I'm happy with that now. Oh, what's that? Oh, we've got a rogue on YouTube. Let's go and get rid of that. I mean, how on earth we can understand what he's written, I don't know. Somebody in China. That will be gone in a minute. Right, sorry about that. The only comment I've had on YouTube is one I don't want. Yeah, Woodland Family is. I think this is probably going to be the best seller. So this one is proven to be very popular on my website, as is the Swinging Delight. And also the Dancing Joy. I think they're the top 3 at the moment. Okay. What else was I going to do with that? Oh no. Okay. Sorry, I'm still eating my mince, but I'm not coughing. So that's good, isn't it? Right. I think that looks fabulous, doesn't it? So you don't have to do anything else with it if you don't want to. We're going to, because we can. But isn't that lovely? Back, let's just show you. Put it into a card. I've got some stitch torn squares again from Sentimentally Yours. So that is going to go on there. So we are going to do that so you can see what it looks like. I mean, how quick is it going to be to do this rather than to stamp individual stamps? I am not suggesting that you stop buying the individual stamps though. I really am. But if you want to do your batch make, I think these work alongside everything else really. Let's just pop that down there. Oh, where's that dirty mark come from? Oh, for heaven's sake. I did tell you, didn't I, that I was having a bad time with stamps. And it's me. That's where the sentiment's going this time. And I've got a dirty mark up there as well. Right. I'll live with that one. So if this was going on here, like that could be your Christmas card. But we're going to do a sentiment. I think it might go there. So you could have a sentiment there like that. Let's start the sentiment, but we're going to do something different actually as well. So I've got, this is from the Merry Wishes set. Merry Christmas, be merry, wishing you a magical Christmas. Now let's just stamp this out on a block. Can't be bothered to get our platform out again. Put that up. And keep it within an inch of its life, as usual. Yeah, I do like the fact that you've got lots and lots of different sizes. It's yeah, it's such a good idea. And I like the fact that everything's masked off, whereas you'd have to, if you wanted to say a fairy to sit in front of something, you'd have to stamp her first, then you'd have to mask her off, and then you'd have to stamp the things around her. But it's all done for you. Absolutely brilliant. And you can use sections. You know, if you were making a Christmas tag, say, I've got a tag here, so just to show you. Let's get that acetate off. Let's go off a bit of a tangent. I've got this is not the right colour, obviously, because we're going to make a yellow one in a minute. But if you wanted to make a tag, you could put the tag on like that, and that would then Happy Christmas or whatever at the top, and you've got yourself a tag for Christmas to coordinate with your Christmas card. Brilliant. Yeah, very, very versatile. Okay. So if we were to do this here, like this, we could put our sentiment over that splodge. And there's your Christmas card. But we're not going to do that. We're going to change it slightly, which is why I've not stuck it together. This is where Angie needs to pay attention. Do you remember this die from yesterday? This die is called Magical Hollow, and it's one of the Fairy Hugs dies, and it was so popular when it first came out. It sold out, so we had to wait for them to get some more in. But this frames everything beautifully, and it will hide one of those dirty marks, at least one of them anyway. So we can put it around our scene like that, and then we can pop our sentiment on top to hide that dirty mark. I would have normally gone down there in the middle, but we won't. We're going to hide that dirty mark because we can. So let's get that stuck with some PVA. I have done a Christmas card where I've painted some stickles on it, and so made it, even though it's just stamped in, I'll show you the card actually. It's this one. So the Woodland Family stamped in pine cone, as we've just done, and so is the sentiment, and I've just painted on some stickles. I had to wait for it to dry, and then I popped it under my board to flatten it out because obviously it's wet and it didn't like it, and then glued that on. So just a little bit of glitter, and you've got a very kind of striking Christmas card, I think. So it does work really, really well to add a bit of glitter to the Magical Hollow. You can use sections of it, you don't have to use the whole lot. When we were doing the workshop yesterday, I got some of the Halloween samples out that the design team did, and you could see that they just used sections of it. It's a really fabulous die, and I have put it, because I sold out yesterday. As soon as it was out, that was it. Everybody was clambering for it, so I sold out yesterday. And but if you would like it, you can pre-order that, and I will add it to my order this week, and then that will be dispatched from a week on Wednesday as well. So it's called Magical Hollow, and it is £15, which, considering how much you can use it and how many different types of genres it fits in with. I mean, on this card from Donna, let's find it. That one. You can see just behind the lantern tree and around the Swirling Delight, Donna's used it in sort of a creamy colour card. So it's quite elegant, I think, in that colour. Obviously I've gone for the brown, but it looks fabulous, doesn't it? Magical Hollow, as I said, on my website, and you can pre-order it along with the magical scenes. Okay, let's get rid of that. So we've got our Magical Hollow on there now. So now let's just put a little bit of 1mm foam tape on. Brain's going. Again. Brain's going again. Unbelievable. I need a day off. I haven't had a day off since my birthday. I get a few hours off here and there, but I haven't had a full day off. I suppose I'm lucky to get a few hours off, really, aren't I? Bonnie's on it. Bonnie, feel free to share the links for the Fairy Hugs site as well. Because obviously if they're watching on the Fairy Hugs page, then they'll need those links as well. And some people watch me that aren't in the UK. So let's check that that's straightish. Just gives you a different dimension to be looking in through the hollow. And we'll add a little bit of tape on here to hide that horrendous blob. As I said, I would normally have put that there. That would have been, oh, sorry. I always do that. I would normally put it there, like that. I get carried away with what I'm doing. But we're going to put it and hide that dirty mark. So we're just going to have it go into the edge of the card, like so. And then, of course, what we're going to do is we're going to get my favourite things out. My favourite embellishments at the moment. These water crystals from Creative Expressions. Just to remind you, if you haven't seen them, you get 120 clear pearls. There's 4mm, 5mm and 8mm in the pack. I would like just a pack of 8mm. I always go for 8mm. Except I did use the 5s on the DL card. But these are the ones I want to run out of. And they're quite cheap as well. But I think there's something like, I don't know, $3.99 or something. But they are cheap. And you need 3. So we're going to have a little blob just in each corner, just to finish it off. And the glue is obviously white, but it dries clear. This is Sentiment to Yours PVA. I'm going to use our pick-up tool to grab it. There you go. Bonnie's put the link to Fairy Hugs, so if you're outside of the UK, then you'll find worldwide shipping at fairyhugs.com. And there are other distributors or retailers in other countries as well, but like I say, in the UK it's just me. There's no plan to put it on the TV at the moment, so I'm the place to go. So there's our Christmas card. Wouldn't you love to receive that? It's beautiful, isn't it? I think it's about 6 3/4 inches, so it go on a 7x7 card. Okay, so there's our first one, all done and dusted. Then I think we're going to do, I think I planned a tag next. So I like doing tags. Did I do a tag next? Let's have a look. Oh no, we're not doing a tag next. We're doing a tag last. Ooh, we're doing this one now. Right. Okay. So this time we're going to use. Why did I do that? What did I get that out for? I've got much joy out. I don't know what I've got much joy out for you. I'm sure I'll find out at some point. Where did I list that? I don't know where I was going to put that. No idea. This time we're using Winklebush. So we're not using the new enchantment paper pad. But we are going to use Endless Knowledge, and we're going to use Treasure Quiet, which those two go together. And we're going to use the Fairy Dictionary as well, which is one of my all-time favourite background stamps from the book collection. So Winklebush, you can see it's got lots and lots of kind of different inky backgrounds. It's also got, on some of the pages, it's got this kind of implied texture to it, if you can see. But it is, of course, completely flat for you to work on. And there's plainer ones as well. Great for die cutting. All the papers are great for die cutting, actually. There's so many paper pads now. I think we're up to number 22 or something. So we've got a lot of them. Where am I putting that? I don't know. Put that there. In fact, Enchantment will tell me how many paper pads there are. 21. 21. I gave them credit for another one. Right. So what we're doing is we're going to use this die set, which I've had for absolutely ages and I haven't got round to using it yet. It's by Sam Poole at Creative Expressions, and it's the from the Shabby Basics collection. It's the layered ripped papers, and it's a really, really cool die set. It doesn't come on a magnetic sheet, but this is how I store them, so I know exactly what I should have. And you can order that as a special order item over on my website. And I did check, there is plenty in stock for me to order for you if you want it. So, this is what we've got. I've chosen this paper from Winklebush, and this is the one that we're going to stamp our background on. So we're going to stamp this first. And I think what we'll do is we'll do what we did before. And I think we use the Stampin' Platform mat as a cushion so that we can get a nice springy stamp. I'm not bothered, it's a background, it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, sometimes it's better if it isn't. And what did I want to stamp in? I don't know, what did you want to stamp in? I know what we'll do. We'll stamp in a Distress Oxide, I think. So we'll get it. I haven't got it yet, hang on. Well, that was fairly easy near the top. Oh, June's gone, has she? She's on holiday again. I haven't seen Judy for a while. Hi, Judy. Right. Let's see. I need a bigger block than those. Blocks. Oh, that will do. Big block. So we're going for Vintage Photo Distress Oxide. I mean, I could go grey, but I want it to look more vintage. We'll see. If I don't like it, I don't like it. It's a piece of card, isn't it? It doesn't really matter. Right, so with the dictionary, because it's a proper dictionary, so you can got the definition of fairy, fairyland, fairy ring, fairy shrimp. What's a fairy shrimp? Any of several delicate, transparent, freshwater, brachiopod crustaceans. Right, okay. So you can read it basically. So fairies at the top, I can see it there, so I've got to have it that way up. So just do remember when you've got words that you want them to be the right way up. This is Vintage Photo Distress Oxide. All the oxides are available on my website. If they're not, then there'll be more stock coming soon, because I do try and keep on top of it whenever I can. Lots of tapping, as always. I'm going to just do that and that. We're going to give it a quick mist, so that it oxidises and you get a better impression. I have to do it sideways on because that's me. I'm going to go off the page a bit and hope that it's straightish, and then we should be able to stamp it once and then another bit off the edge rather than just a tiny bit on the edge. See? It's a fabulous stamp. I love this stamp. It's one of my favourites. I am going to give it a little bit of a pat just in case there's water on it, because I don't want water on my oxide. And then stamp again. So if you wanted to stamp in Distress ink, you're not going to get such a good definition because of the nature of Distress ink. It shrinks away from the stamp, but Distress oxides don't do that. You could stamp it up a bit and then a second time down, but for speed I'm just going to stamp it next to each other. And then we're going to go once more to do that bit on the side. Okay. Careful, it does stay wet for a little while. Although it does dry quicker when you mist it with water. You can't, once it's had water on it, it doesn't move. Did I mist it? I can't remember whether I misted it. Doesn't matter. I don't think I did. It's fine. Okay, is our background. That'll obviously come off with water under the tap, so we'll do that in a minute. So that's our background done. Leave that to one side. Then we've got some of the other bits and pieces. I'll come back to those in a minute. So my idea is that we're going to have, let's see, in fact I've changed it completely. I wasn't going to do that in the background. I was going to I was going to do the dictionary on this one. What am I going to put on that one now? I don't know. Right. I have to put something else on there now. What? I write down what I'm going to use and then I forget what I'm doing. Right, what we'll do is we'll do a stencil instead. It's not where I was going. Not where I was going at all. Let's see. Let's find out what stencil might be good with that. Let's find them. They were in a box. There we are. Right, so I think what we'll use is, we could use a really pretty one. Let's use that one. This one's called Fairy Swirls. And we're going to use Distress ink on this one. So Vintage Photo again, but Distress ink. What stamp is going with it? We're using the Endless Knowledge and the Treasure Quiet. We're going to do this. I like this one. I haven't used this one for ages. It's quite delicate, this one. I think my Vintage Photo is quite dry, but it'll be subtle. I'm not going to get the ring out, we're just going to work with it. build up, it'll be fine. I'll remove my finger in a minute. It's building up now. It's pretty. I'll hold it up in a sec. I'll move my finger. So another design would be to stencil in the background and use, as I intended, the Fairy Dictionary on here. You could get your book flowers out and put your book flowers on here, but it might take me a while to find those because I'm not sure if we took them yesterday or not. I don't think we did actually. I might have them. Right, we're going to go with that now. Oh! Fairy Swirls is based on a vintage book cover, so it's perfect. Excellent. Happy with that. Right, okay. There. I'm not going to clean up just yet. Where am I? Yes, I am. No, can't clean up. Here we go. I'm cleaning up with glue now rather than trying to stick with water. Oh my, what am I like? Right, I'm going to see if I can find those book flowers. Hang on a sec. Going off at a tangent. Here we are, we have them. So if I'm going to do, the idea is to have this, and it was going to be have that, and then Treasure Quiet was going to be on there like that. So we could actually put a book flower just there like that. So we will. Where's the stamping platform? There it is. Happy accidents. What am I like this afternoon? I think I was like it this morning actually, Angie. I'm just like it. It's just me at the moment. Let's actually, shall we know? Let's put it here. Take my bigger book flower. So these are obviously going to tie in with the Endless Knowledge because we've got book flowers either side. I know my stamp's very dirty, but it's one of my favourites. Anything to do with books is a favourite with me. So we'll have a book flower just there like that. There's that other magnet. Anybody see it? Where did it go? There it is. I think I should just cancel today and just start again tomorrow. Right, so we're going pine cone. Oh, thanks, Caroline. The thing is, there's always a way around it. Am I on? Yes, I am in pine cone. There is always a way around it, and sometimes things actually turn out for the best, even though they're not what you intended. I do really like that Fairy Dictionary. So the fact that it's a focal point of this card is fine. So anything to do with books, I'm quite happy with. These have been well loved, these book flowers. This is my September workshop, the book collection. Our next workshop is on Sunday the 5th of November, which is a winter and Christmas theme in Fareham in Hampshire. So if you'd like to join us, do go to the workshop section of my website and you can book in. It's £30 for the morning for 3 hours, or £30 for the afternoon for 3 hours, or you can have a 10% discount and do all day for £50. Look at that. I am going to go just a little bit darker because of the fact that we're on this background that I've made. I'm going to hope that didn't move. I might cry if it did. Okay, that's better. I'll show you. Look at that. Marvellous, absolutely marvellous. Right, that's that. It's my book flowers. Is it sad that I knew in my box I needed to look for about number 300 for these? Got tissue there by the looks of it. 302 it is. I knew it was about 300. I used to know somebody in one of the shops that I used to demo at years ago, and he knew everything by code, not by name but by code. It was amazing. Okay, that's those. Get rid of those, and we're going onto this, and we're going to just stamp a section. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do that trick with the kitchen roll, so that it hopefully stays put. So we're going to do the endless knowledge onto this piece of Winklebush. So I'm actually using 3 papers, and I picked the pink and the blue tone to go with the pink and the blue in the background, which is hardly visible now because of everything else I've done to it, but that's absolutely fine. Tiny bit of PVA. Yeah, I'm sorry, Bonnie. One of these days I'll come and visit you, as soon as you invited me. Oh, a little bit missing there. I wonder how that happened. Is that supposed to be like that? Let me have a look at the dye. Where's the dye gone? Oh, it is. There's a little nick out of the dye there and here. I didn't see, because the paper's patterned, I didn't see it. And you can kind of curl these bits up as well and give them a bit of dimension. Make them look like they were ripped out of a book. Really cool die set. Rippled Papers by Sam. Ripped papers, sorry, layered ripped papers. Okay. I used to share a room with Sam when we used to do Ali Pali years ago. So let's see how we want to have this. Let's have it so that the owl fits on, like so. So we just lose a little bit of one of the books. I think we'll have it like that. So let's have a magnet there and a magnet there. And we just hope for the best really on the rest, probably, because those magnets aren't going to do a lot. Is everybody all right? The last demo is a much quicker demo because it's just a tag. I just want to try and show you lots of different ways of using them, because obviously the way where you just stamp into a paper from the Enchantment paper pad, or a circle of some sort, is easy peasy, you know. But don't just think circles, you can think, you know, go on rectangles, squares, all sorts, and the design team show you that in all of their samples. So I'll give you a mention to all the design team in the UK. We have a social media team, and we have a team that do samples for the TV. Obviously we haven't done samples for the TV this time because they're not going on TV for the foreseeable future. So we have Art Angel and Jess, who are normally on the TV team, obviously myself. And then on the social media team we have Alison, we have Tracy, Karen and Donna. And they all post every week into the Fairy Hugs store group, into the Fairy Stamper Hugs group, and onto the Fairy Hugs page and the Fairy Stamper page, all on Facebook. And then we've also got our brilliant design team, Lida Bonnie, based in the US, and she does incredible videos on the Fairy Hug Store video channel too. So there's loads and loads of inspiration, and as Bonnie said earlier, we love, love, love to see you sharing your makes on the Fairy Hug Store group. It's not scary. Well, it probably is scary if you've never done it before, but we are kind, and we'll just encourage you. And we do love to see your mates, because there's something you can learn from everybody, even mistakes, even splodges where there shouldn't be. You know, you can fix it. So please, please, please share your makes. I know that June has shared her makes in the past, and one or two other people have, but you know, I know in the UK on its own there's loads of you that have got stamps. So let's see what you do with them. It would be wonderful to see. And I know Di's shared some as well. I think Di must be on holiday. I haven't seen Di anywhere for a while. So just giving it another go. Once I've got my knee done, or knees done, Bonnie, we'll get a date in the diary. It might be a couple of years to save, but you know, I will definitely come out there. Definitely. And Nathan will just have to put up with it. He's probably thinking, what's she saying about me? Okay. So there we go. There's Alina sitting on top. Oh, no, she wasn't. Let's get rid of that. There she is, sitting on top of the books. And it almost looks like book paper here with the texture that we've got in the background. Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. So that's Endless Knowledge. Very, very popular stamp, this one, in the pre-orders that I'm seeing. And you can see that this one can fit into lots of different sizes. Just peel that off carefully. I get a bit of kitchen roll, but that's fine. I'd rather have kitchen roll than a piece off of my paper. Okay. And then we'll stamp our sentiment. So I'm going to go for pink. I did cut it out in blue, and I did cut it out with pink. But I'm going to go for the pink piece, if I can find the pink piece, because if I can't find the pink piece, you're going to have to go blue. There it is. You were hiding, weren't you? And there's little nicks out of this as well, so it's not a perfect circle. And you can scrunch it up even more by, you know, that thing where you rub your scissors around the edge, so you can do this kind of thing with it and really rough it up. Give it a bit more texture, and then when you ink around the edges, it's going to show the texture. So let's have it so... because it's got lines, I'm going to have it so that the lines are straight. I'll have a little bit more, tiny bit PVA. So, where's my Treasure Quiet gone? Honestly, I'm doing myself. I'm really annoyed with myself because I can't find anything at the moment. Right. We use that one, we don't need that one. That was on the floor. Right. Back to move my desk because I'm charging my phone, so everything's a little bit weird. Right, so rather than not get it straight, I'm going to try and get it straight on the lines. So it fits in there perfectly. Pick the edge up and then it won't pick the whole thing up. And again with the pine cone. And this should stamp first time beautifully because it's a smaller stamp. Okay, Jean. You know where to find me. There we go. Such detail. Look at the feathers on the owl. That owl's called Hoots, and he is a reading owl. Okie dokie. So put that one away. And take this up here. Then we've just got a little bit of inking, and then we can construct. So I think we're going to bring. Do we want oxide? I think we will go oxide actually. Did I get the oxide out? I did, because I've used it. There it is. I do need to find the Vintage Photo sponge though, or one that's brown. What's that one? Vintage Photo. Oh, that's distressing. But it looks like oxide's been used, so I guess it's an oxide sponge. Yeah, I'll definitely say that's an oxide. Right, okay. Let's ink around the edge of this just to make it look a bit more vintage. I'm going to start with the background first though. So this will be a bit chalkier. And it'll set it off and make it look like an old book. And you could even kind of, just, what we'll do in a minute, distress the corners a bit. So if you bring the corners up so they're a bit tatty. Do our other pieces, just so then they'll pop from the background that they're on. And then that will accentuate all the little divots in the die cut. I'm using a bit of kitchen roll so I don't smudge the image. That's that one. Then we've got the Endless Knowledge. Now this one's a little bit trickier because of these bits, but because I want them to be up a bit, I'm not going to worry too much when I poke them up. If you're using one of these sponges, go at about a 45-degree angle and always start on the mat, and you just get a neater finish. You can get the sponges that are domed as well, but I don't possess any of those, so we have to use those. And then finally we're going to go around on our sentiment. That off, and then we're going to mop up. A bit of a mess here. We could actually collect all that ink and not waste it. I've got a scrap somewhere. There's quite a lot of ink there actually. And that would be quite nice to stamp the Endless Knowledge on, because it's vintage photo. It's a little bit you know, vintage as it were, and that would work out really well. I'm not going to just keep on mopping up though. I'm going to just get rid of that. It's a lovely colour, vintage photo. I much prefer it to walnut stain. I find walnut stain a little bit dark for my taste, but you know, lots of people love walnut stain, which is why there's so many colours of distress. They all work. Right, let's do our construction. Now before we're going to put this on a piece of white card first. We could do that. Let's just do that first. Let's just do some sticking, and then we'll show you what you could do as well. Some of the scraps. It's almost a shame to hide this paper on the back. It's lovely. Not lovely with the glue all over it, but you know, lovely. So make sure your dictionary's up the right way. Let's check it straightish. Yep. Okay, we've got those little corners. Now from this die cut here, you get this waist, which I think is really cool. And it seems a waste not to use the waist. So what I'm thinking of doing is just chopping that off there and there. And so obviously we know that this is going to come here, and we know that that's going to go there like that. So I was thinking that perhaps this could glue on the edge there like that, just for a little bit of interest. This is where you're getting into the realms of mixed media really. And then with some of the waste from the blue, I've got a blue one as well, so we could put, that's the right way, we could put a blue one perhaps up there as well. And this is just, when I was cutting that out, this is like the top of that. So you could even do something with that if you wanted to. I don't know if I do want to at this point, but I will definitely use it at some point. I could even actually put that one up there instead of the other one, just for a point of difference. Or do I want that one down here? This is faff time, because that looks totally different from that, because it's a different colour. But then I don't want pink next to pink. Stop faffing. Right, we'll do that in a sec, but we're going to put this again on another stitch torn rectangle. So we get this and we stick everything down on top in a second. So it's interesting. The waste from die cuts is actually really interesting, because sometimes you end up liking the waste more than the die cut itself. It's like if you cut flowers out, if you're not too frugal at the way you do it, and if you cut it out of a big piece of card, you could cut them out with a pattern, and then you can either seat flowers of a different colour back in from where they came, or you can glitter in the area, especially if you pop the page onto a piece of double-sided adhesive. So waste is great. Waste is lots of fun actually. I think that's straight, hopefully. That sounds like a dehumidifier going off. again, just 1mm tape. Might need a new one. Yeah, the waist would make great fairy lights on a Christmas card. Yeah, absolutely. Waist is, yeah, it is. It's amazing what you can see in waist, isn't it? And I think we just forget about that, don't we? It's like when you use waist as a stencil as well, so you can do that. So like I said with the flowers, you could use ink through the waste from your flowers if you cut, you know, like a decent sized square or rectangle out, and make your own stencil. It wouldn't last as long as the Mylar, obviously, but just for a quickie or a few uses, obviously depending on how wet the ink is. That's dirty on that side, so we're going to go that side. Fairy, are you up the right way? Yes, you are. There we go. This is a bit bigger, this one. I'll tell you the size of this in a minute. This will probably go on an 8x8 card, actually, looking at it. Let's get this popped down. I'm going to put this on flat, I think, because it's easier. And we might put the next layer on a 1mm. Time. A bit longer because this is a bit more involved, this one, but I think it's nice to do you know, a different card. This one's going to go here, and I think, like I say, we're going to put this on a 1mm foam tape just so it's raised up a wee bit. Hi Keith and Alison in Preston on YouTube. So let's have that like so. And then our sentiment we do the same thing with. So don't think that you have to use the scenes with the enchantment paper pack. Obviously it's been designed to work with it perfectly, but you know, you don't have to use the stamps as a whole, and you can use them with whatever shape you want to. I'm going to have to stand up so I can see that. Treasure the quiet moments. Looks good, doesn't it, with pink on it? So I think we are going to have this pink thing here. This pink waist. And we're going to get our tweezers. I'm going to just dip it into some kitchen roll to get rid of the excess, and then I'm going to lay it along this edge here, like that, not right to the corner. And then we'll bring the other one in as I suggested at the top, I think, just because we can, and we'll keep that for something else. And go in my big box, which is a big box. This would look great in a journal, actually. I probably wouldn't put the foam tape on it though if it was going in a journal. Oh, stick there, bit of glue there. Okay, I think we're done. There we go. There's your endless knowledge with your treasure quiet and one of the book flowers and the fairy dictionary in the background. So that's number 2. Very quickly we'll do ourselves a tag for our last demo because I promised you 3, and so I'm going to give you 3. And I like doing tags. So again, we've got one of the crescent top tags from Sentimentally Yours, and this is again a Distress Oxide background in a kind of a yellow theme. And this time we're going to use Dancing Joy, but we're also going to be using, because she's dancing, we're also going to be using the music poem, and we're also going to be using the dance sentiment as well, which is leave room in your garden for fairies to dance, because it all fits together. So first of all, we're going to go use the mat in here again as a bit of a cushion. Away, do that. Oop, there's the camera. Of course, don't need the back at the moment. So we're going to just use the music poem as a background, and we're going to stamp with Spice Marmalade. Are we? No, we're not, because we're going to be stamping on top of it. So we are going to be stamping with something else. I'm going to just go and get a tin out actually. I'm going to go for Spice Marmalade archival ink because we're stamping on top of it. And the reason I'm not using VersaFine Clair because, especially on watercolour card, I found that if I stamp on top of something that's been stamped with another VersaFine Clair, sometimes the ink bleeds into the next colour, which I find extremely annoying. So we're going to stamp with Spiced Marmalade archival, and this has actually got words on it as well. So this says the soft stars are shining, the moon is aught, the folk of the forest are dancing tonight, though swift and gay is the suns that sing, they float and they sway as they dance in a ring. Oh, seek not to find them, the wee folk so fair. They are shy as the swallow and swift as the air. If you come, they are gone, like snowflake in May, like a breath, like a sigh, they vanish away. So it does make sense, but I need to figure out which is the top now. Oh, the words are underneath. Is it? Life is a breath. No, it's that way. This has got words, I need to make sure it's up the right way. I might even stamp it off on here so I know what I'm doing. So archival will stain your stamps, but it's kind to your stamps. It's not going to damage your stamps. It dries very quickly, but don't stress. So these are the minis. I don't know if I've got this one left in stock, but I do have some mini Distress archivals in stock, but I can't remember which ones. Let's see how that's going to look. That's going to look too light. I think that's dry actually. Right, let's go for this instead. Let's go for Tea Rose, which is one of the Wendy Vecchi colours. Let's see how we get on with this one. Minis do dry out quicker than bigger pads because there's less surface area for the ink to live on. So that's fine. I'm happy with that. Right. So we're going to start at the bottom. It's just a hint of a background. Let's see if I can show you a bit more. Which is better than not having anything, as far as I'm concerned, with this particular design. Actually, there are a number of stencils that would work really well. Actually, we could do some stencil work too, actually. That one like so. This may well be darker than the first one. No, it's not. That's fine. I'm not going to go again. It's nearly at the top. I'm not going to bother going again. Okay. So that's your fairy poem. No, it's not. It's music poem. There's another one called fairy poem. Okay, so that's that. As it's archival, like I say, it dries really quickly, so we don't need to worry about that. What stamp am I going? Oh yeah, that one. Right, let's go for. Let's go for this stencil. Let's go for Magical Dots. And if we put it this way, then it will cover the whole thing. And we need a orange sponge. I'm going to try or attempt not to do it too dark. Saltwater taffy might have been better, but I'm not going to go looking for that. A bit darker than that though. I think there's another colour on here. I don't think this has been cleaned properly. It's more brown. It'll do, it's fine, it's fine. It still tones in. Love it. Right, clean that up in a minute. And yeah, I think we're good. Where's the piece of kitchen? Right, we're on the home stretch now. So now we're going to do our stamping. Get into our stamping platform. And because the image is bigger than the tag, we're going to do that kitchen roll thing again. And we're not going to use the whole of the Dancing Joy. Let's just put our PVA. You do really want only a tiny bit. Can you see how much I've got on there? Very, very little. Goodness knows what colour that is that's on there. It's definitely got kind of a browny colour on it. Right, where am I? Oh yes. Dancing Joy. This is the one with the musical dandelions and Misty. But what I want to do is I want to have it so that, oh, she doesn't want to be on the walk, Julia. I want to have it so that it's kind of like that, and then my sentiment is going to come in sideways. My sentiment's going to come in there like that. I don't want to have that area there stamped, so we're going to mask that bit off. Let's pick up the stamp first. There's two ways you can do it. If your stamp's cleanish or the ink is dry on it, then you can mask off the area you don't want to stamp first, then ink up the rest, which I think is the way I'm going to do this one. Or you can ink it all up, or not worry about that, and then mask off that bit second, but then your ink might be drying in the meantime. Definitely the way to get most ink on your fingers is to do it this way. So we're going to do it this way. Not that I want to get a lot of ink on my fingers, but you know. And because this stamp has areas that are wide apart, you could actually mask this area off here and actually just do that one if you wanted to. So there's a lot of versatility here. So because it's easier to mask this one off, I wouldn't necessarily cut this one up if that's what you're leaning towards, because it's so easy to mask it. Let's stick with Pinecone, because Pinecone works very well with yellows and oranges. So let's ink this up. And you saw that I rolled the stamp back on again because there's quite a lot of open areas on this stamp, so you could get air bubbles on it. Inking. Oh, this is what you need to remember, is to take that off. That would be typical me today. Obviously this is watercolour card, so it's gonna suck the ink a lot quicker than the papers. Sorry, I keep on floating over there because of the mat. There's a sweet spot there. Give her a little bit more. She's so pretty. So remember to put your mask back on again. Remember to take it off again. See, hopefully this is dark enough now for me. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'll show you closer. Doesn't she look beautiful? That's Misty, that is, the fairy. careful where so it doesn't rip. I've not had one of these rip at all. The only one I've ever had rip was my own fault, which was the stream scene, but that was a long time ago. That's a big stamp. I wasn't careful enough with it. But it still works. Okay, that's that one. And now we can stamp our sentiments and then stick it together and we're done. I'm going to go and have a rest and then clean up the mess tomorrow. Let's put that there. And we'll have that just there in the middle. Let's bring in the magnet here. This sentiment goes so well. Obviously you could stamp in the little sentiment with the top of the music tree and one of the fairies that play instruments. Can't remember. Is it Claire? I don't know if it's Claire or one of the other ones. Anyway, sometimes when stamps all come together, because there were three fairies that came in the music collection, and I can never remember which one's which of those. It's like Pixie, Trixie, and Dixie. Because I always use them all together, I very rarely remember which one's which. And we won't get any bleed with the ink underneath because we've used Distress ink and archival ink. So I'm comfortable with that. Perfect, absolutely perfect. Peel that off there. We just ink around the edges and pop it on our tag and we're done. So inking around the edges on this one. Do we want to go with? We could go vintage, but I think we're going to go for a little bit of spice marmalade, although I think this is the carved pumpkin sponge, but it'll be alright. That's fine, Angie, don't worry, that's fine. Nearly finished. So yeah, a little bit of, I think this is carved pumpkin because it's brighter, but it doesn't really matter. Let's have a bit more. They're very close actually, spice marmalade and carved pumpkin. So this is an oxide rather than a distress ink. So it's going to give us that chalky finish around the edge. Okay. And that. I've got quite a lot of ink here, so I'm going to get my piece that's got a bit of vintage photo on it, and I'm going to add a little bit of orange to it. I do this just to break the ink up, and then I dip. Saves wasting it. I'll use it, even if I just put a tag out of it. So now all we're going to do is pop this on the backer. And you will. This is a crescent top layering dies from Sentimentally Yours, as I said, and you will find these and lots more Sentimentally Yours dies on my website. And there are 2 new dies launching tonight, which will also work brilliantly with the new Magical Scenes collection. In fact, I've already cut some out, so I will show you the cut out pieces tomorrow so you can see that they work. I won't have time to do anything with them, but I can show you what they look like cut out. Pick that up. That black makes it pop. I am very happy with that tag. I love that tag. That's so pretty, isn't it? I'm very happy with that tag. Okay, so what have we made? What have I made just? You've just kept me company. So first of all, we use the Woodland Family with the Magical Hollow die, the Enchantment paper pad, and the Swirling Snow stencil, and the Merry Wishes sentiment, and then the dies, the Stitch Torn squares, and the debossed double stitch rectangles or Sentimentally Yours. And then I made this one. This is using samples, layered ripped papers. I can never remember the name of that, but it's a really good die set, and you can order that on my website too. And we've used Winklebush paper pad on this one, Fairy Dictionary in the background. This is the Fairy Swirls stencil, the Book Flowers, Treasure Quiet from the new collection, and also Endless Knowledge from the new collection. And then finally on this one I used the music poem in the background, the Magical Dots stencil, and also the Dancing Joy from the new collection, and the dance sentiment as well, with the crescent top layering dies from Sentimentally Yours. So just to remind you, you'll find everything I've used to order on my website. The new Fairy Hugs collection is on pre-order, and because it's on pre-order, if you enter code HUGS10 in the discount code box at checkout, you'll get 10% discount. Excuse me. And that offer applies till midnight on Sunday. And I anticipate that orders will be dispatched from Wednesday the 13th of September onwards. You can watch this back at any time. Do like and subscribe. I love to read your comments. And once again, you'll find all the products also on fairyhugs.com for worldwide shipping. I'm going to go and have a drink.